Alright, let's go. Bum, 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 bum. Hey Robin. Hello. Hello. Hey Max. Hello. So voor Mies. Alright. Ja, broskies. Wagwan. Hello. Alright. Let's start. I don't really have too much time, so I'm probably just going to make it a very short summary. But amazing. amazing. Crypto finally starting to get a little bit of momentum. However, I'm gonna look for some shorts. Give me my money, bitch. What's up, guys? Okay, let's start with crypto. What's up, Carlitos? Alright, yes. Okay, let's go. So, yeah, crypto is finally doing some nice things, which is obviously what we want to see in order to potentially go higher. However, I am most likely going to look for some shorts. I don't really feel like being too trigger happy as of right now, but let's see for some local confirmations. Anyways, last week I can recall that I was initially looking for potentially 61k. However, I shared one specific level with you guys where I pretty much told you that this would be one of your very last local levels that they created, in the course of the weekend. I'd say past weekend, where they could eventually give the move. I had never really expected this crazy pump, obviously, because that's a very bold statement to make. However, eventually after giving a local trade, they never really lost any levels. And yeah, there you go, guys. This is what happens if you liquidate many short positions. Then you obviously are going to have an acceleration of price action. I don't really know if this has anything to do with fundamentals, maybe something, regarding the Clarity Act, that's kind of like a legislation law, but then for the US market. But then again, I'm not really too focused on the fundamentals, but very welcome, very nice move. However, we obviously need to take into account that pretty much everything is hitting TPs, So the people, I'd say in this case, the smart, the wise people, even though it's a little bit results oriented, obviously, that had taken some positions prior to this move, we can definitely draw the conclusion that, the main move, the main TP, the main target has been hit. Okay. So instead of looking for, continuation longs, I am actually very eager to start looking for some shorts. But then again, we should never really make the assumption or the very simple reasoning or the argument that if something pumps, then we should automatically start shorting. That's never really never really a good approach, because again, they can literally just hold local levels and just make a continuation up and liquidate, all the short liquidity that is built up in the past months, I'd say. So again, yes, a main zone has been hit. Obviously, we are very interested in looking for potential shorts, but now it's really time to start waiting for some local confirmations, because before we would like to look for some shorts. Do I know anything about block sequences? No idea, buddy. I trade naked price action, man. So I'm not really familiar with blocks or block sequences at all, to be very honest with you. So yeah, I mean, nice move, but then again, is this per se the beginning of a downfall. Could be, could be, could be. I guess, you know, it's weekend. I'm not really too interested in taking any short positions right now, obviously, because weekends are usually ass, even though it has been very volatile, you know, to say the least. I think in terms of structure, especially when we have a look at the 4 hour and the daily, you know, it's most definitely up. So I think it would kind of make sense for the potential future shorts to be created if we maybe, just maybe, you know, create one new higher high, I'd say, very locally, obviously, and then you have some very nice structure which we you know, can use for our bias. Okay, and then obviously once we have made a new high and started losing something locally, then I would be very interested in taking shorts towards lower levels. But then again, guys, you know, please don't create or have this misconception that if something pumped, that it automatically has to dump, you know. Do I know anything about FIB sequences? No idea, buddy. I don't know anything about sequences, man. I'm sorry, I'm not a correct person to help you with anything. I don't use Fibonacci, I don't use sequences, I don't really use anything, man. I only use boxes and very simple horizontal lines. So this could be a potential scenario, obviously depending on whatever is going to be created or whatever is going to happen on a short term. We either, you know, start looking for some shorts, or they could easily, you know, very simply just give continuation ups, which would be insane. And then again, that's obviously up to the market makers to decide. But this it can go fast, you know, it really can go super fast. If they would gain, I'd say 78k with ease, then I can definitely see Bitcoin going towards 94k. That's pretty much, I'd say, my next station, my next target. Because obviously, you know, if you invalidate weekly levels, then eventually you will be, yeah, targeting, I guess, the next best level. But then again, you know, the higher Bitcoin gets, whether they are going to, you know, invalidate something locally right now, or they pump and then eventually goes towards 94k, I will be very interested in looking for shorts. But never take impulses, guys. Be very careful, okay? Because then with these impulses, whether, you know, on the way down or on the way up, that's the perfect formula to lose a lot of money. But yeah, that's pretty much the plan. I mean, as of right now, there's no real reason for me to believe that Bitcoin can go all the way to the lower range. However, if at some point they would go to the lower range, I would be very interested. Every future dump, every future retracement that Bitcoin tends to give will obviously be a very, very, very nice long opportunity. But then again, you gotta respect the higher time frame trend. Give me a second, guys. I don't know. I know. Give me a sec. Give me a sec. Alright. Okay. Yeah, sorry guys. You know, there are so many people that are ordering something, you know. They order some groceries or food in my street, but many what is it? Bro, gaat hij weer bellen? Gee. Super annoying. Why do you retract your messages, Pika? Why do you do that, puppy? Anyways, what did I want to say? Yeah, so either I'm going to look for some continuation longs, depending on whether they can gain 78k very clean. Obviously have a look at your 4-hour structure. It's kind of, you know, kind of easy to predict what it can do. Pardon me. If they are just going to make simple new highs, then I will be very interested in looking for continuation longs. Else it's going to be, you know, new local lows, retest, and then short towards lower. It's a very, very simple analysis, I'd say. Obviously, in the future, this is very sexy. Very interesting, anything between 59 to 61k. So yeah, I feel like the higher everything gets, the more sexy the risk reward becomes for the shorts. Yeah, Ethereum doing very, very good stuff as well. Obviously on the weekly, it could potentially close very, very good. However, we made price discovery, you know, we made global new highs, which is amazing. So depending on what it's going to do locally, we can as well look for some shorts. Again, I'm not really too trigger happy on shorts as of right now, but I will be at some point. And then I'm primarily looking at 2350. So as of right now, I would still say for Ethereum, it's up until proven otherwise. There's no real reason for me to start looking for some shorts. However, if we start losing 2350, that for me opens the door to start looking for shorts on every retest pump towards lower. And this is pretty much the only level that I will be giving to you guys, because besides that, obviously, there's no real, you know, other level. Maybe we can have a look at this, maybe we can have a look at this part, but then again, that's for later. So 2350, that's the key level for ETH, for Ethereum. And, you know, keep in mind, if we don't lose, because obviously as an you know, trader or an analyst, you should always prepare yourself for both the bullish and the bearish case. If we don't lose levels, then we will gain levels, obviously. So we hold levels on a higher time frame, which means the bias is still up until proven otherwise, which means your longs, even though it's a little bit contradicting, pardon me, with what I just said on Bitcoin. If Ethereum happens to make new highs, then guys, just keep on respecting the trend and keep looking for longs on every small retracement. So that's pretty much it. 2350, if we lose that, start looking for shorts. If we hold it, which we currently are doing, then there's a high chance of potentially having continuation up towards new levels, new targets, and then I would be very interested in either 2700, or I would be interested in, I would say, 3100. So these are the two new levels for me to the upside. Solana, yeah, crazy. I did say I was going to look for some Solana longs, but yeah, you know, you shouldn't fumble them. So that's a GG. Solana doing amazing stuff, obviously, just like Ethereum, the rest, just like the rest of the market. It's a bit tricky. It's a bit tricky. Are we losing anything though? And this is all fuckery. I wouldn't even look at this part. Yeah, not really. Not really. Not really. I would say I would be pretty interested in looking for the bigger shorts once we lose 88, which still isn't the case. So I would say unless we hold, until we hold 88, up until proven otherwise. No real reason for me to start believing that we can go down. So let's keep it very global. Let's keep it very simple. Once we lose 88, every retest pump can be a beautiful, beautiful short towards lower. And yeah, if we gain this, then we can probably look Oh, that's quite far. Give me a sec. I would eventually be looking at like 132 or something. That's crazy. This is nothing significant for me. Maybe as an intermediate level, maybe, just maybe. I'm not really a big fan of this level though, but I guess I will just, I mean, obviously this zone is very good. 132 would be the next level. Yeah, I guess, I mean, they could make a new high, you know, very, very, very possible. 106, I'd say. That would be probably my my next level to look at. So simply speaking, new higher highs, unless until we hold 88. So on a 4 hour, there's no real reason for me to start believing that we should look for shorts. I wouldn't be too happy, or I wouldn't be too you know, too keen on committing any of my money in this range. So I would say up until proven otherwise until we hold 88, and then, you know, because this is also kind of important, this level to the left side. This is obviously something that we want to gain in order to go to 132. So if we get above 106 eventually in the course of the time, you know, keep in mind, because probably many people will misinterpret my way of analyzing stuff. If we get above 106, then future longs could, you know, lead to 132. Something like that. Could be interesting. Gold, super hot fire. Super hot fire. Looking very sexy. We held 43, so that's good. That means up until proven otherwise. Again, no real reason to look towards lower, since again the 4 hour and the daily is simply just, you know, screaming to go up. We have created very healthy structure after tapping the 4K zone, which is obviously very good for gold on the longer term, but even on the shorter term as well, because every retracement is a confirmation long, a higher probability setup, which is amazing. I would be very interested in actually looking towards 4,800-ish. This would be my box, because again, after making this new high, we created complete new lows, which most likely is going to be a weekly level, which makes sense, right? So there you go, 4,800. That would be your next destination. Very good, very nice. And in the meantime, yeah, bigger gain and hold, right? So there's no real reason to look for lower unless we hold 4,300, which is going to be a very challenging task for gold, because it needs to dump at least $400 in order to lose locally. So I rather see them pump than dump. But again, you know, it's up to the market. It's up to the market. I do have to admit though that they, yeah, this could be interesting as well. Maybe just maybe a new high, and then if we lose, I would short it. Could be the case. I do have to admit that could be very interesting. In the meantime, let me actually do something like this. Yes, I like. Okay. So basically what I'm saying here is the following. As long as we hold 4,400, I definitely see gold getting more upside. So even though, hypothetically speaking, let's say tonight, if gold happens to make a new high and it starts losing stuff and it gives a short, it would be a local short towards potential new higher highs. And once we lose 4,400, then I would be interested in taking longs. Or, pardon me, higher time frame shorts towards lower. Yes. This would be my next level. And if we happen to get above 4,800, yeah, then Boschans. Then we go to 5,200. Then we go towards this. So this is pretty much the analysis. Shouldn't overcomplicate it. See. I'll keep it simple, guys. I'm not going to overanalyze stuff. But I'll be very interested in looking for potential shorts. Obviously, the higher gold gets. Again, it's looking amazing. Don't get me wrong. But I'll be willing to short the higher gold gets. Thank you. Nee, correct. I'm just guessing 07. Correct. I'm just gambling on the charts, puppy. Correct. We do that every week and every day of the week. Correct. You're completely correct, puppy. You're completely correct. Nah, I'm not. Don't worry, Carlos. You shouldn't even waste your time and energy to these type of people, bro. You should understand that those type of people, they already have a specific opinion about somebody or someone, you know. So don't try to convince. Don't try to spend energy on convincing people. Don't worry too much about it, bro. It's life. It can really go fast for NQ, to be honest. Okay, so ideally, I would love them to actually start gaining 29.5 or 4. Unless we don't do this, I feel like NQ is going to get more downside. That's what I think, potentially. Obviously, once we get above this, then it can be very nice. And then again, keep in mind, since we got above 29.2k in the past, you know, especially I'd say mid-August, then I'm referring to this particular level. Every future retracement, guys, is going to be an amazing long opportunity towards potentially higher. You know, you need to keep in mind, we have made new highs, we have gained our daily level, right? So NQ is looking very good, actually. If they really wanted to dump towards lower, let's say to this particular range, you know, they could have definitely done that. But I feel like they are reclaiming stuff. Therefore, you know, every future retracement is actually looking very sexy. However, locally, I'm not really too interested in this. Obviously, past Friday, we all picked this very nice long opportunity. You know, this was kind of like a 200-pointer move. But then again, you guys need to understand as well that this move is our move to the low, you know? And as long as you don't get above this, there's no real reason for us to believe that this is going to be the starting point towards higher. So first, let them get above 29.4, else it's down until proven otherwise. And I would actually be very interested in potentially shorting this level as well. So even if NQ tries to attempt, okay, tries to attempt to gain the bigger levels. Again, it's a 4-hour level. It's even, let's say a 4-hour level. I would be very interested in shorting. Only once we really get above 29.6k, okay, then that opens the door towards higher levels, and then we can look for, what levels did I have in mind? I was looking at 29.8 because this has a confluence with this level, or actually even this. But then again, I save you guys the details. Let me see. That has been lost over here. So yeah, I guess this would be very interesting as well. Obviously this level as well. So that is a little bit tricky because, you know, which one is going to give you the better short? Is it going to be this one, or is it going to be this one? If I really needed to make a decision between, let's say in this case, 1 and 2, I would always look for 2. So this would be my analysis, you know, so locally down until proven otherwise, unless we get above. Let me actually change the analysis a little bit. Boom. So I would say 29.6k, very important. If we don't get above 29.6, it's down. And then I will probably be looking for new future long opportunities. I'd say 700 points. Am I saying this? It's a bit tricky because actually you got something nice over here as well. So let me change this level. This is all gone. So this is not interesting anymore. Let me work out the bottom range. Is given a trade. I'd say this level. Very interesting. Which, let's say, has some form of confluence with your higher time frame previous low. This is all swept, given. Then we probably find ourselves our next best trade. I would say 500 points lower. And I am going to make a box out of this because this is a very sexy, a very juicy box. There we go. Yeah. So that's going to be it from my side, guys. So pretty much what I'm saying here is, as long as we don't get above 29.6, I'm expecting more downside. And then I will be willing to look for new future or potential longs around 28.8. Okay, so yeah, a little bit shorter than expected. I don't really have any room to answer any questions. Renan, Habibi, my guy. But this will be it. Obviously, I will just keep the stream online for all of you guys to rewatch this at your own pace, at your own time. But I'm going to prepare myself for the other stream. I will be live in about 20 minutes or something. I'm just gonna eat something quickly, and then I'll see you guys on the other platform, obviously. So what have we discussed? Crypto, Bitcoin primarily, Ethereum and Solana. Thanks, gold and NQ. I feel like the plans are relatively clear, even though it's higher, you know, super higher time frame. But this should be the plan. I feel very, very comfortable with this. Take care, Kian. So yeah, let's see how NQ is going to open tonight. And yeah, man, that's about it. See. Okay, homies, thanks for being here. Thanks for listening. Appreciate your time and your energy. And I'll see you in a bit if you happen to, you know, to join me on the other stream. BBs, take care. Have a nice evening. And you can always DM me if you got some questions. You can join the free Discord, obviously. make sure that you consume the free price action course as well. Most likely mid next week or upcoming week, a podcast will be uploaded with Abe, with Stewie, one of my business partners at Via Ballers. I will be uploading a very nice, high quality lifestyle video in English though, but it will be uploaded on my main channel. I will be consistent with uploading some other content, some reels, some shorts, pretty much everything. So the content engine has been built. Now it's just, now we are preparing ourselves to roll it out, and then hopefully we can just, remain consistent and build the brand, So I'm looking forward to it. I'm very excited actually. And in the meantime, let's try to kill the markets, Okay? Homies, ciao, ciao. Peace in the Middle East, and we stay in touch.